Heyo, my Planko friends, Johnny5 Live here, and welcome back to another episode of Project Planko. We got a very jam-packed one, an interesting one, as all three of the builds that we're going to be showcasing in today's video not only complete an entire city block of the park, completely bring a whole little quadrant together, but all three builds also use custom theme maker toolkit screens that the builders painstakingly package from images into actual downloadable assets that when you download the park, you just hit subscribe and boom, they're in. No custom images needed, nothing like that. And all three of them utilize this technique. There's also a fun little interesting bug that we discover at the end of the video on the third build, which is kind of mind-boggling to me, and maybe some of you guys can reverse engineer how the bug was made, but I've never ever seen it before. It's a first ever Planko mystery that should be looked into and solved, but really cool stuff there. But two out of these three builds are hero builds. They're very important and they are just jam-packed full of detail. So we have a lot to go over this one here today, so why don't we get started? Okay, we are kicking things off with a massive, what ended up being a hero build from Demona Lisa Kills. Technically, this building was originally signed to Abby Refinger. She built something, Demona helped her revise it into something else, and then this quickly turned into a collaboration, and I think Demona ended up having to rework the building quite a lot as Abby was struggling with it, but it all worked out for the best. Abby already had two really amazing builds over here with the Stay Puffed and the Gulpy. She managed to get her hands on a third one. I have no idea. Most people didn't even get one. Well, Abby is a supporter of the show. As a patron, you get early access, so she did those in early access and then managed to do this one on release, I guess. Anyways, speaking to that point, though, we'll probably have more early access stuff for the future areas for our patrons. So if you guys like the series, if you've been enjoying what we're doing with this project, the videos don't get many views, and because it's taking up majority of my time, I haven't been making much revenue either. So it's been a labor of love, but also kind of painful on revenue streams. Anyways, if you guys like the channel, you like this show, you like the stuff, there's going to be some bonus benefits like early access for builds. So please do consider the Patreon program. Really appreciate it. And then let's just jump into the first build here. So this is technically finished by Demona Lisa. It was 1,800 pieces, but we went a little bit over. This was a large building, as you can see, and in some ways it should have been colored pink because it's technically like a hero build. If you look at the size, the presence, the importance of it, because you're going to actually see this from the coaster. It's actually a main centerpiece feature for the coaster itself. The coaster passes right on into this doorway here. So this is a very, very important build. A bit of an undersight from us to not highlight this as sort of like a master plot, I would say. So it's good that Demona stepped up, and also just give a massive shout out to Demona for helping us out with all the QA. She's been, QAing people's builds, making sure that they're all good, helping them, rework their builds and make some changes. Now, there is a foundation here. I'm going to assume that Demona made her own, but it doesn't hurt to check first. So we are subscribing to some TMTK, which I allowed her to do. And I did say to anyone that wants to make a custom image, they could use Batch's tutorial. Batch is a good content creator. Go check him out on YouTube, Batch. And he made a Planko tutorial on how to turn screens into TMTK. Oh, she did the park. Oh, I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that. I literally just deleted the park plot. Oh, that's so smart of you, Demona. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so now I don't have to worry about that park. There was a green plot here and I deleted it because it looked ugly and I'm trying to get all the last builds in. So did she use her own foundation? Can we just take a look at it? Well, it looks like everything just stabs into the ground. And yes, there's a bit of a foundation here. Okay, so we can go ahead, cancel this. So I can go ahead and delete all of this. Oh, wow, there's a big hole in the ground. What do we have down here?
What's going on down here, guys?
Ooh, okay. So yeah, I was talking about the TMTK. We'll take a closer look at that stuff in a second, but Batch did a great tutorial on helping people turn custom images into Theme Maker Toolkit. And I always forget, I say TMTK like everybody knows what that is, and I've seen a few comments throughout the series so far, people going, what is TMTK? But I've also explained it so many times that I just assume everyone watching knows what it is, but it's Theme Maker Toolkit, and what that is being able to add your own assets into the game, and that like your own 3D models, your own 3D custom stuff. So an example of a TMTK is our Chief Beef over here, right there. That's a TMTK. That's not in the game, but we created it for the game, and it's a custom player-made object. The benefit of making your... Oh, now I had that perfect, and then I went and screwed it up. See me, hide me. I can't... There we go. The benefit to having your own TMTK is so that people don't have to download custom images. And when you pass a park around and you pass it to someone that doesn't have the TMTK, or sorry, doesn't have the custom images, when you get the park back from someone who didn't install the custom images, all the signs using custom images become broken. And there are also times where custom images just break, and hitting the refresh button on them doesn't fix them. You guys have probably seen it on the show before, time after time, where I'm like, oh, this screen has nothing on it, even though I downloaded everything, just because somebody didn't upload it after saving it or what have you. There are issues that happen when saving this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's much better to do your own custom ThemeMaker signs because it just downloads them. It downloads them, they never break, they're always there, and they're more efficient than making the game load a bunch of images onto screens. That can become costly too. Okay, Demona, there were... I don't know why you have all these aligned signs. What do these aligned signs mean? Was I not supposed to delete the foundation? Crap. I don't think I was. It looked at like she had her own until I was wrong. Maybe it... All right, well, I don't know if there is custom foundation or not, but in the case there is, we're just going to delete all the inside ones, because she wouldn't have foundation on the inside. You would only be the outside. And because this is concrete here, I'm just going to assume that we don't need these either. I'm just trying to be part count efficient. I'm going to try placing her build again on top of this bit of foundation and see if it makes more sense in terms of these aligned signs. So I'm just going to quickly drop it down. See me, hide me. Now, where are these alignment signs going to? I'm assuming they line up to the foundation, right? Huh. From the looks of things, it's not using that foundation. I'm so confused. Yeah, well, while I really like Demona's build, and she has a good grasp on how things fit in, something's not quite right here. And I'm surprised that Demona, being the person that's been placing all of these and seeing if they fit or not, trying to make my life easier, her build doesn't seem to go in super smoothly. So we're gonna line it to there, switch it to the back, make sure I've lined up to the grass, right? We wanna line this right up to this bit of concrete here. And see, I don't know what the aligned signs are for. I really don't. But this is seemingly correct. No, this doesn't line up. So if I make the park line up to the sidewalk like it in theory should, that would be correct. Then I would probably line it up here as well, like there. Okay, maybe the alignments are for like the edge. No, because that's off too. Do I have to rotate it? Now that looks flush. I would imagine that fills this area perfectly there. Then we go to the back and it's not lined up there. Strange. Strange indeed. And now it's floating, but the foundation never came out this far in the first place. So my question to Lisa was, why didn't you include some sort of foundation? But that's okay. That's okay. I think lining it up the way I did with the park is the smartest way to approach this. However, the building feels too left to me. I don't feel like it's right. For whatever reason, I feel like it needs to come further over, but then it's too far away from the park side. Yeah. Oh, maybe she wanted the building to come right up to the edge of the foundation. That kind of makes sense. So I want to bring it as close as I can to the edge of the concrete. And then, oh, then there's a gap here. Oof, this one's tricky because the access, you can see I have to do 2 moves to move it in one direction. So I can't move it left. It's on, even with the world axis, it's all off. So I got to move it on the Z and then the X in order to move it left. So that's about as close as I can get. But now this fence is still butting through. So now it's making me say it needs to be more to the left. But I swear it's too much to the left. I don't know. Now I wish I had the volume cube to refer to. I don't know. But butting this right up to the edge here makes sense to me. That makes the most sense to me. And let's see what it looks like back here. Oh, it actually fits quite nicely now. Look at that. I had a gap here before and now I don't. It's pretty much pixel perfect. Okay, all right. That seems better overall. So with that being said, even though there's a bit of a lip here, there is a lip on the concrete. So I'm actually okay with that. I'm just gonna YOLO place it, I think. That's about as good as I can get. And we'll fix all the little glaring issues after. So she's got all of her signs in a group. That's perfect. So let's go ahead and delete those. And then the foundation, she tried to do something fancy with the design, I guess. So we could just leave that as is. We got a bit of a floater here. Let's see what's going on there. If I delete it, okay. I think I can move this down just a pixel. If anything, I would prefer it to be the inverse. There we go. That's clean. Okay, looking good now. So what I do not like is this floaty bit, but that's just the terrain being slightly higher. So I don't know if the foundation that I had previously there was supposed to cover that. What I'm thinking I can do is take some of these concrete slabs that I've used throughout other areas and bring them underneath the build. So we'll do that here. So first, the best thing to do for me is to line it up to the edge of the building, make sure it's as flush as possible. It seems to be off just by 0.1 degree here. That seems about right. Just eyeballing it should be good enough. And then we're gonna bring it up so it covers, maybe even just a little bit higher. And then bring it up to this bit here. I could technically fill this whole area, which might actually be nicer. But no, I'm not going to. I'm just gonna flush it across and then try to line them all up. And this will cover the floating gap. And then there's a bit of a floating gap and some weird stuff happening here. So let's just continue this over. So I wanna offset it by just like 1 pixel here. So it's a bit of like a tiny, gets rid of that tiny bit of flickering. And then we're just gonna run it across here. And we're just adding basically a bit of a trim to the build. But then you have this here, so the door, there's a bit of a conjunction happening between all of this craziness, and it's a bit of a mess. Not Lisa's fault at all. We're not city planners here. It's just a result of all of these builds coming together. So I think by just placing one here and kind of filling out this area, I can get rid of most of these issues. Yeah, I want to bring it out, but I got an idea. So I'm going to bring it to about here, place it, and then I think I'm going to take this piece here, bring it out. Can I bring, no. What about this guy? What's this guy doing? Okay, this is our solution. This piece right here is our solution. So what I can do with this is bring it up just a little bit to fill this and make a nice rounded edge. So I can bring that about to here if I really wanted to, which probably seems like the nicest. And then this last one here, I want to duplicate it one more time just to fill this edge. It kind of pokes through there, which is annoying. So maybe I'll just bring it to about there. And then I'll bring it down just, or up a pixel. And then now we have a nice kind of foundation, but then all of this stuff kind of looks filled. So people can walk to their homes. And then this here is just grass. We'll just fill it with some bushes and some stuff later on, some little bit of polish. But yeah, that seems to be all right to me. Good, good, good. We can even just paint it in here. I don't know what I want to do, but that all fits. That all works. So a little bit of foundational changes there, but I think we got it in. Does this all make sense here? I guess this little fence here is sticking out just a little bit. So, well, there's not much I can do unless I overlap them. So it's, you got to pick the lesser of two evils. Do you want to stick it through the picket fence or the chain link fence, or do you want to crash these together? But the nice thing about crashing these together is it just, if you do it perfectly, it just looks like there's a few extra supports in there. So I think that's the better way to go. That looks fine to me. Doesn't really look too weird. Well, I guess I could push this one over more. Or wait, is there an extra one in there? I could delete one and bring this one out. Yeah, that works actually quite well. And then it's not crashing into the building. That seems fine to me. Yep, yep. Good, good. All right. It's in. A little bit of setup on this one here. Not a perfect fit, but, well, it did fit nicely, but not problem-free. I love that you did my garden here, although I still have the tree here. Do I need the tree? I probably don't need the tree. No. Goodbye, tree. So we had this, like, green plot here, and just to give you an idea, it was like this. Green. We had these, like, little park gardens. I guess we forgot to assign that to someone, but Demona just took liberties to design it herself. And boy, oh boy, was that a great idea, because it gave her an opportunity to advertise her CV apartments. So why don't we talk about these CV apartments? First of all, you haven't gotten a good look at the build yet. There it is. It's called Cosmic Vice Apartments with a custom TMTK sign there. Really crazy glasswork. The concept here, I kind of talked back and forth with Lisa about this one a little bit, but it's got that Miami Vice kind of Miami style build to it, but then Planko-fied with Cosmic Cow. So traditionally, these kind of retro Miami Vice style artworks, they have a lot of cyan and pink, like the sign here, and so does our Cosmic Cow. So they're the exact same colors. It made a lot of sense to just combine the two, get creative with it, and call it Cosmic Vice. So, oh yeah, my picture's in here. I gotta take a picture. Whoa, that turned out to be big. I zoomed in on it and that's a cool transformation shot. Okay, so yeah, this is the Cosmic Vice Apartments, taking a little bit of a spin off of like a Miami type build. They are a residential building, and it does have a monorail that passes through. So she did a pretty good job of making sure like nobody's apartments are gonna be getting too much noise. If there are some lower ones here, passes by quite nicely. I do think we could probably have added something here, just some graffiti, or maybe let me see here. Well, I'll try to do it after. Well, what I was thinking is just a pattern. Maybe what we could do, Lisa, if you want later, like a basic shape pattern, like maybe a cosmic cow face. Actually, let me see here. Cow. Yeah, I was thinking something like this. Well, that's not big enough. Is this big? No, that's not big enough either. If we could make a bigger one of these with basic shapes and have that on the wall, I think that might look nice. And you would kind of see that from the monorail. It's just like a big cosmic cow face. Another idea that I had would be nice is just something like what Fabulous Fappy did here. Just a couple basic shapes using the colors that you've already used here. So you would have like some light pink dots, polka dots here, or stripes, some lines. Not that it needs it. It's fine plain. Maybe I'm overthinking it and overdressing it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you agree, just a basic shaped cow, some basic lines. We have this line work here. You could have a few extra lines of pink on there just to break it up. For the most part, I don't think it's that big of a deal because of the sight lines, right? This is kind of a back alley. It has all these pillars here. It's not standing out as too plain to me, only from this angle. And really, it's not that much negative space, which is why I'm kind of okay with it being somewhat plain, and I kind of understand it. And it does keep the part count low. Same could be said with this wall. You don't really have any sight lines on it, so it's just the back of a building. I think the only reason I felt the need to mention putting something there is because it's not a standard texture, right? It's a shiny material, and you don't normally see that on buildings. It's almost like this wall's made out of metal, so if it was a brick wall, maybe it would have some texture. That's all I'm saying, is it's missing texture. So that would be my only feedback to trying to add something to fill some of the spaces. but the actual build itself is remarkable. Like, look at the entrance to the building here. That's phenomenal. The patterns, I don't even know how you did this. This looks so cool. The shapes, the angles, as you guys saw from the original build, it had these kind of ledge pieces that Warmgar built into it to kind of flow with the parkade, and it's just amazing. All these balconies with really cool shapes. Gotta love living in one of those apartments. It's super fancy, really nice. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Pretty sick indeed. I love it. It's very clean. I don't know if there's any smaller palm trees, but you do have like 1 or 2 here. I wouldn't mind putting a couple more just on these window ledges. That's probably all I would say. Just a couple chairs or something. These people, looks like they haven't moved in yet. Nobody has put anything on their balconies. Maybe you just had a hard time finding anything small enough to actually fit there. I don't know. The roof is amazing. You got a swimming pool here, a hot tub or something, some seating there, little bar or something here. That is great. Even an elevator, man. That's cool. Really nice. And then some of the realism, the AC units, and even some solar panels to be energy efficient. The shape of this build is incredible. I love the way that looks. Really nice. All these triangular shapes. And then you've also incorporated that triangles and diamonds into your logo as well. Really nice. Yeah, this is just phenomenal architecture right here. A grade work, S tier work for sure. I love everything about it. Oh my god. The little garden is really just the cherry on top. Absolutely love that. You're coming by here. Oh, CV Apartments can come on in here through the side or the back as well. Now, let's talk about this. This is huge. As you're coming down on the coaster here, you're gonna see that. That is so cool. Now, this is a lot more complicated than you think. So you can get pretty large screens in this game. So if we go to like screens, this by default would be a 16-meter screen. Well, guess what? That's not a screen. You don't have to download any images to get that. So it's a TMTK. But TMTK can only go so big. Custom objects can't be this big, apparently. So what we had to do is the biggest size of a TMTK screen that we can actually build is a 8-meter, this one. So what we had to do is I helped her with the textures, and it was a pain in the butt because we had to make textures that were, I took the image, split it into 4, then made a texture for each corner of the image, and we had to make sure that they were pixel perfect. And then she converted each of those textures that I made into objects from Batch's tutorial, and then at the end of the day what we ended up with is 4. Can I touch this? Can I get this? Yeah, so that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. Pretty impressive. Now, unfortunately, looking at this closer, we only used half of this one, which is a bit saddening to me. But yeah, you can see how this is basically, it's a 4-piece puzzle. That's what we did. It's a 4-piece puzzle. These are custom objects that we built, or Batch built, and Demona packaged it all up. I made sure I used a pretty low-res texture because it's kind of retro and pixel arty, so it didn't need to be a high-res texture, especially from the distance. You're not gonna ever notice. If you go up really close, yeah, it's pretty low-res. There is a little bit of a seam. Like I said, it was a bit damn headache trying to get all these to line up, especially because I was down-resing the texture. I couldn't tell if things were off, but from here you can't tell there's a seam at all. You can't, yeah, you'll never know. And it helps that there's like kind of bars on the window, or, you know, separation glass panes or whatever. So yeah, there's already enough noise in front to block any seams. But yeah, if you really look close, there's a seam, and then there's a seam this way. So it was a really tricky thing to get right. Definitely. And I'm glad, Lisa, that you pulled it off because it looks fantastic. And the extra work involved to make those 4 objects just so people don't have to download and hook up images is a pain in the butt. But now when you download this park, you'll never have to put any custom images into the folder, because any images and signs that we've used around the park are all like this. You just hit subscribe and it downloads and packages them up for you. And you won't ever have an issue where this just loads as a black screen because something broke, and now you have to go click it, hit refresh, and if it doesn't refresh, you have to figure out what picture was on there, and boy oh boy is it a nightmare. So this is why I highly recommend people check out Batch's Ninja's tutorial and do this for pretty much anything that is a screen in this game. And it's more optimized. Your parks will run better. So there's no reason not to do it other than the fact that it takes time. So, but it's worth the effort. Now, on top of that, what I really love about what she did is she built a small, like 2-meter little section here where people are lounging. You kind of pass through here from your apartments, I guess. So you can kind of like pass on through this little lobby. But what that does is it creates depth. It's really, really cool. That amount of depth, it almost makes that room area feel 3D. It's incredible. It's really well done. I was happy enough with just doing something like this. If we go in here, grab this, and this. Originally, I was saying like this should have a billboard, this building. And I would have been happy just having like, you know, that. I thought that would have been cool. You know, it looks great. Or I thought some sort of advertising there would have been great because the cars are passing underneath it. A real city planner would most likely put some sort of advertisement going into a tunnel if there was a big building here, because everybody's looking up at it every single day. But if you hit undo here, look at what that depth does there. Not only is it an advertisement, but it's just prestige to the people that live there, and it's such a good touch. So I love the way that turned out. She did the exact same thing that I just talked about with the signage to this one and to this one down below. So and then I guess this one is also a repeat. Oh wow, it's a different one. Abby's Lounge. Okay, so that's also really nice of you. So Abby originally had to rebuild her building twice, and then Demona helped take it to where we are here. So I don't know how much Demona did on this and how much Abby did, but Abby did originally come up with a bunch of ideas for this building. I don't know how many of those ideas actually made it into this build, but you know, we definitely want to commend Abby on her efforts. But then I also need to mention again that this building ended up being a lot more important than I originally realized, that we should have had somebody that was master or legend take this out from the beginning, because you look at the quality that it turned out to be, and as mentioned with the coaster passing underneath here, like that view, the sight lines, it's really an important shot in this park. So much so that it's equal to our other hero builds like the Hot Dog Squad in terms of sight lines and prominence. So while it wasn't associated to any character, it is associated to the as a main centerpiece focal point to a main attraction, which ultimately our main attraction is centered around our characters. So while you're going on an adventure from the Pizza Planet or Chief Beef areas, it will take you through here. So yeah, I can't iterate enough the importance of this build and how good of a job Demona did. And I appreciate Abby being a good sport with all the changes that she was going through and the back and forth that they had to go through, and the time and effort that Demona put into helping it get to where it is now. I could not be happier with how this turned out. It's really, really cool. Really, really, really cool. So even though I suggested maybe a few potted plants here and there and maybe a little bit of a design on the side, it doesn't really need it. But if you guys agree with it, and if Demona agrees with it, we can simply just go in there and add a couple little details in terms of polish. So if you have any ideas in mind, if you want me to like take this little piece here, whatever this is, you know, duplicate this and put it on some of those porches, we can do that or something. I don't know. But even if we don't do that, I'm very, very, very happy with this. This looks awesome. The billboards are wicked sick, and you're going to see this not only on the coaster, but the go-karts. The go-karts pass through here. It's a double feature. It's probably the one, and the monorail. This is one of the most prominent buildings in this area of the park, if you think about it, because it's going to be seen from 3 different rides. So, yeah, Abby and Demona knocked it out of the park trying to get this to where it is today, and I'm really happy. Let's take a look at the nighttime lighting here. Oh yeah, the lit screens. Oof. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, the little chandeliers there. Oh my goodness. Oh, the lit windows on the apartment. Oh, that's great. Really, really great. Wow, that's phenomenal lighting. And a little bit down here. I might need to put a couple street lights back here. It is like a back alleyway, but I'm looking now and we don't really have any street lights down there. So something to do on the final pass. But yeah, wow, that lighting turned out fantastic. Holy crap. That's probably one of the best nighttime lighting buildings in the entire park. Look at that. I mean, when you compare it to the building next to it, it makes me want to redo the lighting on this building. But this one's using like yellow planters on the inside. I don't really agree with it that much. But there's a huge contrast in quality of lighting. Even this one, I thought the lighting was really good. And it is good. But this one's just next level. Holy crap, that's really good lighting. Between the lit screens and the little bits there, it's got like shadows on it and stuff. It's just, I guess it's because all the shapes, the lighting's picking up on the edges here. It's such an interesting build that it picks up lighting in really spectacular ways. So kudos to Demona for coming up with such a cool and interesting build at both day and night. It stands out and it needed to. So you definitely deserve a pat on the back for that. And Abby too for being a good sport about it. I'm pretty happy. So really good job. Okay, wow, what did you guys think of this build? It's like a hero build. I almost feel like this is a longer, I want to spend more time with this than I do with some entire episodes. So we still have 2 other really cool builds to showcase to finish off this quadrant of the park. We're gonna get this one in and this one in. So why don't we move on to the next one? Okay, next up we have a mini hero build, the Channel 5 Gaming TV station from DBA The Governor. It's a little hero, must have Channel 5 Gaming TV station. So I don't know, I think there's gonna be a rework to the satellite tower. This satellite tower was, a radio tower, whatever it is, was built by Warmgar when he blocked out the city, and it made it into the final build. So let's find out exactly if I have to replace it or not. Oh, we're downloading some stuff. So we got a bit of a running theme here because we just showed off Abby's TMTK billboards, the signs. Oh, my game crashed. Great. Okay, we're back. What a nightmare. My game crashed. I forgot to save the park, so I had to replace Demona's build. Hopefully I did everything the exact same way I did before. It seems to be good. That was annoying. But what's worse is my reshade completely broke, where all these nice shadows that you guys see, they stopped working. Basically this thing was not loading. I couldn't figure out for the life of me why, and I tried deleting reshade, putting it back in, restarting my computer. I spent like an hour trying to fiddle with it. Turns out when the game crashes, it reverts anything that you've changed in the game's settings. And one of the things you need for reshade to work is you have to turn off multi-sampling, and apparently I had that on between the time it crashed and when it didn't because I wasn't using reshade for something. So what a headache that was. I didn't, it was such a simple fix and I didn't think of it. Anyways, we're back. I don't know what I was talking about, but we were trying to get this building in, and I guess the times that I've had 2 crashes today, and I think it's just because reshade. I do get crashes loading between my park spotlights and stuff time to time, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. I'm just gonna have reshade off while I load these up now, and then we'll turn it on when I look at them. But I'm assuming just like when I load parks and I get an odd crash from reshade, it must be kind of similar to that of loading up a blueprint. So I had a crash earlier today, and I think it was when I was loading up a blueprint. So I just got to remember to turn reshade off for that. So anyways, now we're looking at Channel 5 Gaming TV station by DBA Governor. I believe I was talking about the ThemeMaker Toolkit screenage, similar to that of Demona Lisa's. Is this the part of the building here? Oh, it is. It's the backside of the building. Similar to Demona Lisa Kills, I said anyone using custom images, because this builder really wanted to use custom images, and I said, look, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do batches tutorial and convert them to TMTK, and then you're good. And I also helped him create this. Channel 5 News. I made that in Photoshop, and then he turned them into billboards. That replaced whatever was there before. All the custom screens we're going to be looking at. Why is there a tree on the concrete? I'm just noticing that now. There needs to be a planter for that. There definitely needs to be a planter for that. But it is nice having that tree there, but we do need a planter because this side of this building is pretty bare. I think me and him talked about putting some sort of screen there, and I guess they never actually did that, which is unfortunate. Otherwise, I would have just deleted the tree. And is this lamppost part of his build? No, it's not. Do they all have this little teal thing sticking out? Huh. How come I've never noticed that? That is very strange. And some of them seem to be poking out higher than others. When did this happen? Oh, I guess I placed it now. Why do I feel like these got moved up? Or they're higher on this side of the road than this side? That is bothering me now. Like, I definitely feel like this one needs to be brought down, and all of these in this row need to be brought down. Especially these ones back here. That doesn't seem right to me at all. A bit unfortunate. Small little polish things that we gotta try to fix later on. And I don't know why they're colored teal like that when they should be gray. So maybe I can, I don't even know. Yeah, I feel like that needs to be fixed. So something to do in the polish. There's always going to be things that I'm noticing, but I particularly noticed it just now because this little blue bit is standing out and looking out of place to me. But this one in particular needs to be moved for sure. We can put it there. And then this one also is literally inside. Is this my only selection? I think so. This one's inside the wall. We could probably center it on this column here. Yeah, I don't like that teal bit there. I don't know why Warmgar colored it teal instead of gray, but that's a fun job to select all of those and fix it. Okay, well, okay. The build is in. I accidentally placed it when I was fiddling with those lamps, so this is gonna have to do, but I'm pretty sure I nailed it, hopefully. There's still a tiny gap there, so I think it fits. It's not crashing. And what we need to do here, now that it's in, I put a lantern here. This is a transformation shot because it did have a radio tower there. We could turn reshade back on. We could take a screenshot. Then I have my transformation shot of what it looked like before and after. And then I'm going to save the park. We're also going to change it back to 12 p.m. so I can grab my little face here, and then we take a screenshot of a new building being placed. Now we have that building in the series of screenshots that we're collecting. We can change it back to 2 p.m. Now I won't forget about any of that. You guys wanted setup. Now you get all the setup. You get to see all the behind the scenes. I don't think there's anything else we need to do to this. There were no sides. There were nothing like that. So it's just a matter of looking at it. DBA Govna, I see a sign up there. We're going to move that up front. We've been going with this thing where all of the creator signs have been on ground level and in front of the buildings. And I think that is best because you're going to be walking around the park at ground level. And speaking of which, did we get a Demona Lisa Kills sign? And is the old one still there? This was the old one, I think. Did I? Huh. Where do I want to put that? We could sneak it down here, but it's kind of crampy. So I think the best bet is to put it like here-ish on the backside. Backside entrance. Technically, I think that's the main entrance. But this is, I don't know if we'll be able to do Demona Lisa Kills. Yep, we can. We can get the whole thing in there. There we go. If I need to update that to put Abby's name in there, you guys just let me know. I don't really know how much Abby contributed to this final build, but she was a part of the original one. But she does have a shout out on the top here, as we saw, Abby's Lounge. So shout out to Abby. And then we got the DBA Govna there. Perfect. Okay, let's take a look at the build. Pretty nice. It's got an interesting shape. Fills the volume cube nicely, but you did something interesting with the bottom half, which I can appreciate. Lots of glass. It's a news channel building. So we have the news helicopter, all the little satellite stuff, the Channel 5 News logo, using my logo, but kind of chopped down. So just CH5, because CH is short for channel. So yeah, we got the Channel 5 News. I like it. Then we have the Chief Beef Tower, because I am the chief, the beef. Looking good. And I made this image for them and they used it. So yeah, Channel 5 News Crew, the official. There's Chant on the left, and shout out to Chant once again. I've been mentioning her a lot in the recent episodes. And that character that I just shown, she redrew it to be this. So this is the new Chant version of basically Chris Darkart's Chant. that's the Planko-fied one inside the barbershop, and this is the original. Well, maybe it would have been better to use the Planko characters, like have Chant draw them, because it's the news channel, I guess. It seems funnier or cooler to use, I guess, the more realistic characters, if that makes sense. Kind of, I don't know, in the Plankoverse, everyone's kind of like these cartoony, funny characters, and even I have been cartoonified, and so has Chant in certain aspects of it. But I guess when you're tuning into television, you know, you get like the more realistic side of the universe. Even though it's not actually us, it's still a cartoonified. It's just not Planko-fied. So I don't know. There's something that ties it together in a unique way. Plus, yeah, Safe4's been helping out with a lot of the stuff on the server, the parks. Chant has a big hand in this project. So do I. Would have been nice to, you know, get a few more people in there, but these are the characters I had for the immediate people that are pretty heavily involved in the channel. So, and especially this park. We got to maybe somehow get Batch in there, get him his own character, and same with Warmgar, but we'll see. We'll see. As of right now, this is the Channel 5 News team, and those signs are looking really good. I think there's one back here as well, so both sides. Really cool billboards. Nice work on that. They converted it to the Team TK for me. Hopefully they used a good texture size and it's not, yeah, too big. But heading on into the building, I thought this was amazing. So they did this. They did their own. So they photoshopped this themselves. Channel 5 breaking news alert. Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man floating over the city. Residents wonder what happens next. There's a picture of it, and if you're wondering what the heck they're talking about, we just literally showed you just a second ago. It's right there, and it's what I use to take screenshots of the city. Every time I put a building down, I take a screenshot. So it's so we can show the progress of all the buildings going brrr, getting put in. And the reason I put the Stay Puffed head there is because if it's not there, I literally can't find this lamppost. It gets lost. It just disappears. So I needed something big that I could see from a distance so I could zoom into it. So technically it breaks the fourth wall. How do you say that? Breaks the fourth wall, I guess. I am technically God right now because I'm building the park. I'm bringing life to this park. But then in this universe, even on my channel, I do show my face in streams and in certain videos and Patreon vlogs, but generally I just show myself as a character. So if you were a Plankonian in this universe, you would technically watch my channel, but you would watch the cartoon version of me, of my channel, which is somewhat realistic to how things are in real life. So they're used to seeing me like this, but the real me, the real life me, the non-cartoon version of me is technically God mode making this park, and I had a hand in that floating thing. But in the Plankoverse, they have no perception of reality and what is happening, and to them, they're just like, what is this floating head doing in the sky? What is happening to us right now? And they have no idea that God is building things real time. What happens next? And I just thought it's kind of funny. I don't know, it breaks a lot of third walls here, or fourth walls, I guess. And so there's like the real me, there's the cartoon me, then there's the Plankified me, and then they're kind of like observing all of this, and they're like part of this madness. And it also, not only does it break the fourth wall, but it also adds like a level of immersion too. It's like these little Plankonians are like, what the hell is going on? And everything's being constructed in their city and their lives are coming together. And the more we add, the more real they become. It's kind of neat. So yeah, it's a fun Easter egg, but then they have all this other stuff like, but tonight at 6 p.m, blame Canada A. Maple syrup shortage hits its lowest point. New roller coasters coming. Oh, it's an actual real update. Like I said, it's more immersive because in their little world, they're waiting for coasters to be built in these areas, and they are coming. And based off what episode we're on now, you guys would have already seen the coasters. You would have seen the coasters racing through the cities. Funny thing is, at the time of me making this video, I haven't seen the coasters. What I did was I did all of these episodes to get all of these buildings in. Everything was complete, the whole park. Then I recorded the coasters and made that episode 20. So future Johnny gets to experience those coasters, even though this is a future episode. that past shot he's doing. It's super confusing. But yeah, kind of interesting. I haven't even seen the coasters yet, but there are new roller coasters coming, and they're being developed at this moment. By the time you guys are watching this video, some might even be done already, and these Plankonians will get to see them soon. Anyways, moving on. What's even cooler is what's happening right here, right, is right here, literally. That green screen. They put all this behind him, and that camera shot is this camera shot right here. But it's just zoomed in. So that's also kind of amazing. The pink penguin is, I guess, the news reporter, and you get the whole crew here. That is so cool to me. Like, you just knocked it out of the park. This is incredible. What's going on up here? So we're having a meeting about the park, I guess. I don't know. Making YouTube videos. We got little cubicles and stuff. That's cool. And then another layer. This is where we're printing all the newspapers for the Plankonians, checking them out, and then the rooftop. So yeah, absolutely incredible build, DVA Govna. I think you killed it. This is a really important build. It is a mini hero build. Now that I look at it, I kind of wish I made this white. Well, maybe not. That might have been whitewash, no, because the news is white. Yeah, the black does stand out just a little bit. I'm wondering what, maybe we could have gone grayish. It's not the worst though. Maybe the one thing we could just do to this to jazz it up is put some gray trim on it. Maybe that's what's doing it to me. It just looks like it's kind of floating there, but I think it's okay. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Should I dress it up a little bit, or should I just, does it look fine? Am I overthinking it? I don't really know, but the whole build is a pretty important hero piece because much like Demona Lisa's that we just talked about being such an important hero piece, so is this, because you're driving down the go-karts here. Now, I don't think you're gonna really see much of the side of this building anyways. I do think maybe we could just put a standard screen here, just a Chief Beef like advertisement screen. In fact, maybe let's try that. Let's try that right now. We'll go screen, and then we'll do like a, what's it? An 8, here, let me turn reshade off. Oops. We'll do an 8-meter lit screen. And let's make sure our angle snap is on just to make life easy. Then we'll plaster that to the wall here just so ever so perfectly. Looks like it fits. Let's centralize it. And yeah, that's pretty center, maybe down just a little bit. And this tree, while out of place, it currently doesn't have a planter. Whoops. So if it doesn't get a planter, we should just delete it. And if it does get a planter, maybe we could just move it forward, right? Maybe we don't even need that advertisement there, that billboard. But if you're walking down the subway, it's kind of cool to have that billboard there anyways. So I'm kind of like a little bit indifferent on it right now. We could even just move it out over here a little bit. So I don't know, something needs to be shuffled around, but I think in the meantime, we can do a little movie screen and then just mute it and just have Chief Beef on there. So that kind of works. It could also just be an image of Chief Beef, but no, I prefer the movie because it's too much of a, yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, the movie screens probably be better because I don't like just the Chief Beef logo, because this isn't like the Chief Beef headquarters, but having some advertisement there is actually kind of nice, and you get a little glimpse of it here on the go-karts going by, which is great. Turn reshade back on, and coming through the go-karts, you'll see it there on the right. But while you're on the coaster actually comes down here, as you guys would have saw by now. So oh yeah, I guess future Johnny has already showed you guys the go-karts, and I'm now talking about how important they are, these buildings are, because you'll see them on the coaster, which you guys would have already seen them on the coaster. Oh boy, this is getting crazy Inception episodes. So but currently I have no idea what they look like on the coaster, but you guys do. So yeah, but that doesn't, regardless, the point may be is they are all important buildings because they were seen on the coaster. Now we're placing them. Yeah, really cool though, but you guys would have only saw them for a glimpse. Now we're really putting the builds in, taking a deep dive into them, you know, setting them all up, taking a closer look at all the details, and talking about the challenges and difficulties that the creator had to go through to make some of this stuff work. And back to back, 2 buildings using heavy amounts of custom Thememaker toolkit stuff, and I think even the next one also does. So they all have a running theme in this little triad of this little sector of the block which is kind of important. Pretty cool. And I do think more people could have done these screens, and we can use them again in the future, so long as they do batches tutorial. All right, so I'm really happy with what you did here, DBA Govna. I think you really killed it. Really cool build here. Stands out. Another little hero build. We're getting down some pretty important builds throughout this this little episode. So we got one more to showcase. Let's get right on into it. All right, last but not least, we have City Building 26, 900 pieces, city style. We're gonna move our builder sign just in case the builder did not place one. And the creator of this one is going to be Kiara. I believe Kiara already did one of the other builds that we featured in the previous episodes, somewhere around there. Can't remember. Oh yeah, she did, of course, she did our coffee shop, Planet Coffee. Very cool. So she managed to get another one. Pretty cool. So we're just gonna delete the volume cube and try to fit this in ourselves. We're gonna eyeball it. See me, but not me. Thank you for that, Kiara. There's lights underground, and they're these kinds of lights? I'm not sure I understand that. They're gonna be spotty. Okay, I won't judge it until I look at the nighttime lighting, which we did not do for the Channel 5 Gaming News. Align this foundation to the building to the sidewalk. Well, I would be able to do that if you didn't make the sign in the way. Okay, I think that's it. And it's either got to go over more or I got to rotate it. So it's coming over the path a bit. See that? So I think I just need to rotate it. But in theory, if these buildings were placed when you yeah, you shouldn't have to rotate buildings, I think. Pretty sure, because if you upload it like this, then I'd be downloading it like this, and the orientation should be right. But there have been a few buildings that I've had to rotate, which is kind of confusing to me. But like, I do think if we turn angle snap off and give it a whoa, what the heck? I didn't know you could rotate buildings like this. What? Are you guys? You guys know that the grid doesn't allow you to rotate buildings like this. I think I just found a planet coaster bug. What? Okay, we have to cancel the whole thing now. That's kind of crazy. Never have I ever seen anything like that before. You cannot rotate things on the y-axis, and that was locked to y only. It's doing it again. What? Oh my god. So I don't know how you pulled this off, Kiara, but your building can only rotate on this axis. So if I wanted to turn your building, I can't. There is something completely broken with your build. So in terms of rotating it, just so it lines up, because I just wanted to rotate it just a little bit. I cannot do that. Clearly, I cannot do that. My goodness. That's crazy. So I have to just kind of pull it this way and keep pulling it this way until I can cover. Yeah, maybe I'll just pull it right up to this guy, right up to your neighbor. Yeah, just to close the gap, and then we'll cover the sidewalk here. I think that's how the volume cube was anyways. So it's probably how I should have done it. And now that I do that, I don't need to rotate it. And yeah, that actually fits quite nicely. Now, interesting, Kiara, because, okay, let's go ahead and place this, because I'm pretty happy with that. We're going to delete these. Kiara was bugging me to do some billboards. She wanted to put this billboard here and says you see it from the monorail, but you don't see it from the monorail because the monorail goes this way. It doesn't come in this way. So I guess if you were facing the backside going backwards, you would see it. But she made this custom image and turned it into a custom TMTK as well. Hopefully I told you to scale it down. Hopefully it's not too big of an image. I know Batch made them a little bit big. I feel my FPS tanking after putting this build in. And this build is broken. So maybe there is something wrong with this building. I did feel my FPS drop a lot. So she wanted to do this thing, travel with Channel 5 and experience a vacation even the king would enjoy. Channel 5 Gaming award-winning travel agency. So I guess this building's supposed to be like a travel agency building, and you come here for laundry? I don't know. There's a little 5 on the wall. Oh wow, you made that out of little tiny. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, laundry service. This is pretty shabby and run down. It's in the backside of the park for sure. All right. But what I was going to say about your little billboard here, it seems so much smarter to put it here, doesn't it? Because you actually see this. Oh, maybe. But you would see it a little bit better. I mean, maybe you could put it feels like something should be there. It's a little bit plain right here, like a window or another room or something. Is it me, or is this feeling a little bare here, and does it feel like it should have something here? Could have used something there, I think. But there is something borky with this build, and hopefully it doesn't kill the game. Right. So we got it in easy. It was an easy fit. We found a rotation bug with this build. I don't remember what the part count said it was, but it doesn't look like this build uses very many pieces. There's a few things on the roof, not a lot going on there. Not the most complex build, but I think there's enough details on this backside where it looks interesting. It's offset a little bit here. The front is definitely interesting. It's not as fancy of a building as our other city builds. This is like your low budget rentals for sure. There's graffiti on it and everything, and stuff overgrowing. So yeah, you pay the high price for this build. To live here, you gotta really shell out the cash, but then you got the low budget apartments just across the street in the back alleyways next to Germany. Yeah, it's a cute build. It's not overly detailed or anything, like I said. Maybe there could have been a few things done to the top and the side here, and that's probably all. I'm pretty happy with the fronts and backs of it. But I keep turning my camera and feeling my FPS just tanking ever since putting this building down. So hopefully it's not a problem. I don't know. I was saying that these TMTK signs might be more efficient, and now I'm starting to question Batch's theory, because we just put down a TMTK building here and there. They all use custom, and I feel like my FPS has dropped. Although, looking at the park this way, it seems fine. So I think at this point, it's just a matter of we're getting way too much crap in this park. And it's all just a conspiracy theory now that these things are the cause. So I think it's actually probably fine. And it just is a coincidence that this thing bugged out. So yeah, a cute little build from Kiara. It's tucked in the back of the park. It's not meant to be a big focal point or anything. It's just some extra filler apartments. I think it gets the job done. You will see it coming through the coaster as well. And that's kind of cool. So awesome stuff. So we have another builder sign. Did she put her own sign in? I don't think she did. So we're gonna just put it right here, right in front of the little garden. And here we go. Kiara. Boom. Done. All right, that is our 3 builds. And that actually, if you see it now, it completes this section of the city district. This whole block is done and in. Nailed it. Awesome. Good to see. Very happy about that. Very dynamic section. We got Warmgar's Parkade. We got this cool little bank, governmental style building, Channel 5 News, Miami, Cosmic Miami, and the little low budget apartments back here with your laundry. Get your coin laundry. Great. No, it's really cool. And I guess this little grow up greenhouse thing is part of this little block as well. So it all came together. Another box checked, ladies and gentlemen. I think this was a really interesting episode in terms of like talking about the custom signs and how you can do that, and you don't have to use custom images anymore, as well as the complexity of these 2 hero builds really came together. Oh, we didn't check nighttime lighting, so we'll do that before we end things off. But that's pretty much all my final thoughts on things. I think it was a really cool one. Really nice subtle lighting on these. She did an unlit screen with her own custom lights. I like that choice there. And you had these ones buried in the ground, and I was wondering why, and I still don't know why. But we'll just leave it as is. There it is. We got past the crash. We got the game back to work. I got Demona's build back in. I'm going to save it and end off the episode there. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye now.